Praise the Lord, and thanks once again for tuning in to the true gospel. I'm still your street preacher and God's humble servant. We talked much in the past month or so about prosperity preaching is nothing more than sophisticated idolatry. Now I'm going to piggyback off of that title, and we're going to talk about prosperity preaching eroding gospel foundation. Prosperity preaching is eroding the gospel foundation. Let's look at our very first scripture. Remember, I always say, and listen to me, congregation, if you do not know the purpose for any product, you will ignorantly abuse it. If you do not know the purpose for any product, you will ignorantly abuse it. Let's go through the truth about it, congregation. When I say, if you don't know the purpose, what does a purpose of something immediately shows you? The purpose of something will always establish the value of it. And the value of it will automatically set or establish priority. And hear me carefully. I want the church to awake out of your sleep. The Bible talks about the church going to sleep. Well, the churches today are asleep. And what this prosperity preaching that's eroding the gospel foundation, not only is it hurting the church, not only is it hurting the community, not only it is hurting a state, it is hurting the whole world. Stay tuned. Let's look at our first scripture. Psalms 11:3. Read it loudly, please.
Psalms 11:3. If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do?
If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Think about what God just said. If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Let's see what God has to say about it. Let me read a scripture that I didn't plan to read to further clarify this message. Somebody read for me quickly. Matthew, I didn't have it as part of my scriptures, but I want to read Matthew 16:25 through 26. Somebody read it for me, please. Matthew 16:25 through 6. Matthew 16:25 through 6. To establish value. When you have it, please read it, please.
Matthew 16:25 to 26. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. And whosoever loses life shall, for my sake, shall find it. For what is a man profit? What is the profit of man if he should gain the world, gain the whole world, and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
Stop right there. Thank you. You would think, ladies and gentlemen, Christian world, that if anyone who is following the pattern of Jesus, and to hear Jesus make a statement like that, you would think that there would be a pause. To hear God says, what would a man prosper should he gain the whole world and then he dies and lose his own soul? If that does not set priority and values in your mind, you are not called to be a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
That will put on the brakes.
Amen.
What did Jesus do? He is establishing his purpose for coming and his value for which he came for. Now, before I go to my next Christian, I always like to paint a picture. Listen to me carefully. This is to brighten up this statement I made. You go to the hospital and you have a person goes to the hospital and they're complaining about a pain in their chest. Have you ever walked into a hospital with the person who's complaining about pains in the chest? And they said, come on over, bring the camera, let's take a picture of the person. They don't take a picture of the outer person. Why? Because they know what's causing the problem coming from the inside. They go internally. Let's take x-rays. We got to find out what's going on in the inside. Because what you see on the outside is a reflection of what's happening internally. So doctors always want to find out what's going on in the inside. So when Jesus made that statement, it reminded me of a person going to the hospital with a pain and think the doctor's going to take a picture of your outer man. Jesus established what he came for. That tells you he didn't come for the man that you're looking at. He didn't die for the man that you're looking at. He said the soul. He said the soul. If a man loses soul, he's not talking about the outer man. He's talking about the man that nobody can see. Now let's break this down and use common sense. The scripture tells us if a man is hungry. See, I want to give the balance. The scripture said if a man is hungry, you feed him. Now, a man comes to your church and he says, I haven't eaten in 2 days. You say, go out. Stop preaching. I would. Hold up a minute. Go get this man a hamburger, and a bottle of milk to feed him. Now hear me carefully. Hear me carefully. But that is a temporary priority. Hear me carefully. That's temporary. Now, the man gets you stop the most important thing, temporarily, to give the man a hamburger and a bottle of milk to quench his thirst, his hunger rather. Now, but how long? 5 or 6 hours later, that man will be hungry again. So you took care of a temporary problem. But what Jesus is talking about, guess what? When you satisfy a man's flesh, it'll only last for 4 or 5 hours. And he's going to have to repeat the same thing again. But Jesus said, what I came to do, I didn't come to worry about giving a man a hamburger, which is going to last for 5 or 6 hours. He said, I came that a man can have the thirst of his soul fulfilled. And that's eternal.
Amen.
That's the priority. Now, how is the prosperity preaching is eroding the foundation? The priority that Jesus established should clearly tell you why he established the foundation. Now let's look at Luke 19, 1 through 10, and that's going to let you know why Jesus established the foundation. Luke 19, 1 through 10.
And Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacharias, which was a chief among the publicans, and he was rich.
Very rich.
And he sought to see Jesus, who he was.
Now behold. Now, here's this rich man. Now you have these prosperity preachers prioritizing on money. Zacchaeus was a rich man. But he had lots. He had everything that the rest of the man needed. But Zacchaeus had a hunger. And that hunger was not for food. But that hunger was for the satisfying and the fulfilling of his soul.
Amen.
I'll say amen. Read on.
And could not for his press, because he was little in stature. And he ran before and climbed into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way.
Now hold it right there. This man has such a thirst, He has such a thirst to see Jesus, to illustrate or demonstrate his need for Jesus, that he climbed up a sycamore tree. I want you to think about that. That's a hard tree to climb. This man was so thirsty, Now after Bill Gates have heard some of the gospel preaching that say he needs money, you think Bill Gates would climb up a sycamore tree if Jesus was around? No, because he's convinced I have everything I need, what I need Jesus for. That's the message that they're sending when you're preaching about prosperity. I say amen. Read on.
And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him, and said unto him, Zacharias, make haste, and come down.
Oh, hold it. Zacharias, if you want something from me, I'm not going to be looking up to you. You got to come down. Now remember, he was a man, he was short in stature. Now, when he came to Jesus, he was no longer looking down on Jesus. He had to look up to Jesus. Now when we talk about this foundation, it's going to paint a beautiful picture as to why it's eroding the foundation of the gospel. Now, so he came down. What did Jesus say to him?
And come down, for today I must abide at thy house.
Today, I'm going to abide at your house. Now, Zacchaeus, in that community, was hated for one reason. He was a tax collector. They hated tax collector. But he got rich, cheating the people. But now listen to what Zacchaeus said. Come on, let's go quick.
And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when he saw it, they murmured, saying that he was gone to be with a guest, with a man that is a sinner. And Zacharias stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, I have half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man, by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. And Jesus said unto him, This day is salvation come into thy house, for as much as he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which is lost.
The Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. In other words, Jesus laid the spiritual foundation. Jesus laid the foundation. Now, let's think about a foundation for a moment. Anyone know, any architect knows, that the foundation of any building has to have the most attention, has to have the more technique, the more calculation, has to go into the foundation. Why is that? Why there has to be so much focus on the foundation? Because everything that goes upon it is going to depend upon the soundness of the foundation.
Amen.
Am I right?
Amen.
Am I right?
Amen.
foundation, it's going to depend on the foundation. Once you go outward, you suffer for it to come down. Now, when you get away from the foundation of Jesus, you establishing your own foundation. That's what's happening with the gospel. These prosperity preachers are establishing their own priorities and own foundation and deteriorating the real foundation. That's why the churches are failing, because you're not on the foundation that Christ established.
Amen.
I say amen.
Amen.
Read the last one quickly.
Psalms 85, verse 10 to 12. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, the Lord shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase.
Listen to what he said. Righteousness and truth. Righteousness and truth kisses each other. Now let's go back. I thought about something that I saw with what's his name? The guy that went to Pretty Boy's church. Joel Osteen, and Kanye West. Now, did Kanye West give what's his name? Joel Osteen give Kanye West. He treated like what? A king. Now, what Jesus said, the one that was outside of the realm of Jesus Christ, Jesus, not only he treated him with some kind of a special treatment, he went to his house. Now, Joel Osteen, if you're on the foundation of Christ, you don't take the one with money and fame and make them look like they're Jesus Christ himself. Yes. You get somebody who's outside of Christ, and then you bring them in and say, I'm going to buy it at your house, no matter if you broke, or how weak you are, or how, we're looking for a word here, less known you are. I'm going to give you special treatment because my job is to stay on the foundation that Jesus Christ established. And that foundation does not look for the rich and famous. That foundation came to look for the weak and the lost.
Amen. Amen.
Oh, hear me carefully. Hear me carefully. When you start building on a foundation and you're going upward, the higher you go on that foundation, the less weight all the things that stacked on you're going to have. If the weight of the buildings or the story that you built had the same weight of the foundation, when the wind blows, it's going to come over. What am I saying? The higher you go up the ladder with God, the more you're going to focus on what's in the foundation.
Yes.
You're not going to focus on what you're putting in. You're going to focus on the foundation. Because the foundation, guess what? If you erode the foundation, everything that built upon it will go eventually come down.
Amen.
That's why the church is coming down, because prosperity preaching is eroding the foundation of the gospel. Hear me carefully. When you are on the foundation that Jesus established, and you're building on it, everything that the devil can throw after you gonna come against you. That's when you stand on Jesus' foundation. But when you establish in your own foundation and you call it God's, then the world going to be your friend. Whenever you stay on Jesus' foundation, the world going to evade you. The world going to want nothing to do with you. That's what's happening. Jesus established the foundation, and he gave his apostles the purpose for that foundation. And those apostles, they stayed. All that building was based upon the foundation that Jesus established. Did the world love them? Did the world love them or hate them? I say amen. Did the world hate them or not? You see, here's what people don't understand about Satan. As I said this morning, Satan can do everything except one. Satan is the best singer that you can hear. Satan can establish music that'll make your head swim. Satan can preach the gospel. But here's what he can't do. He can't preach truth. Because there's no truth in him. That's why the Bible says that Satan has established preachers. People worry about the choirs in the church. Thank God for them. Thank God for them. But Satan can sing, brother, and make you start dancing. Satan can sing. He was the head of the choir. He knows all about it. He knows what appeals to the flesh. I say amen. And he can give it to you. But one thing Satan cannot do. He can't give you what your soul needs. Because your soul needs truth and love and mercy and understanding and forgiveness. And Satan possesses none of these things. Amen. So he can preach a lie, but he can't preach the truth because there's no truth in him. Amen. So now be careful. Now what does Satan preach? Everything's sweet. Satan says everything's sweet. Everything that he knows that the flesh will like, he'll give it to you. But he stays away from the soul. Why? Because Satan knows that the soul of a man is what Christ died for. So he reverses that. He got the preachers thinking, making people think Christ died for the flesh man. Well, if that's the case, if God died for the flesh man, why you allow the flesh man to go back to the ground and rot? His soul doesn't go to the ground. Why? Because that's the man that God died for. He didn't die for the flesh. So Satan want to put the emphasis on the flesh because he knows that time is on his side. Because if you get off of the foundation of God, you're not in God's lane, you're in the world's lane. And a good preacher, a servant of God, is not determined by your comrades. It is determined by God. A soldier validation does not come from his comrade as to how good he is inside of a barracks. It's determined by what kind of a soldier he is once he leaves the barracks and get on the battlefield for the work of the Lord. That's what determines a good soldier. God determined who's a good soldier, not some money-hungry, fame-seeking. You all know the word coming out. Money-hungry pimp. They're eroding the foundation of the gospel. Stay tuned. Amen.